आप खुद एक ब्यूटिशियन या डिजाइनर हैं, तो यहाँ आप अपने काम को शोकेस करके दूसरों को टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स देते हुए आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। अपना कम्युनिटी में आपको मिलेगा मेंटर्स का एक खजाना और बड़े इन्फ्लुएंसर्स का साथ, जो आपको हर कदम पर 1-to-1 गाइड करेंगे। यहाँ आप ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं अपने फील्ड या इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक ग्रुप्स, जहां आपको ऐसे कई लोग मिलेंगे जिनसे सीख के आप वो गलती ना करें जो वो कर चुके हैं। ऐसे लोगों की जिन्होंने स्टार्ट किया था एज एग्जीक्यूटिव्स एंड आर नाउ सक्सेसफुल मैनेजर्स इन देयर डोमेन्स, जो आपको आगे बढ़ाने में मदद करेगा। यहाँ आपको मिलेगा वो सही डायरेक्शन जो आपकी करियर को नेक्स्ट लेवल ले जाएगा। तो लेट्स अनलॉक योर पोटेंशियल टुगेदर। अपना कम्युनिटी में ज्वाइन करें और अपने सपनों की ऊंचाइयों तक पहुंचने का सफर शुरू करें।
Rohan, you are actually mute.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Good evening again. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rohan, one of the co-founders of Qfus, which is a mentorship aggregator platform. And we have been supporting Apna with the mentorship requirements for their Apna Exclusives. So Apna Exclusives has been happening over the last couple of months, weekday sessions at 7 p.m. and weekend session at 3 p.m. The main idea is to help people ideate and advance in their professional careers. We're also addressing a wide range of topics, starts from financials to accounting and to other functional skills and data science as well. Today we have Ayush with us, who's a full stack developer at Adobe, who's going to take us through the path to a senior developer. And without much overdue, I'll give it to Ayush. Ayush will just follow the same methodologies which we did last time. For the sessions, we can try to keep it interactive, break the session a bit, ask for questions, and people who ask questions, please feel free to unmute yourself. And yeah, we can go ahead with the session.
Yeah, thank you, Rohan. So I'll just share my screen. I'll request everyone to please be on mute because it can be disturbing for other people. So just give me a second. Just let me know whether you are able to see my screen or not. Then I can start.
Possible.
Able to see, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So hello everyone. My name is Ayush Raj. So right now I'm a full stack developer at Adobe. I have a total experience of 5 years, which I've put it here, and I've been mentoring and guiding people for the last 3 years. Even I take some batches also with Qfus. So I've graduated from IIT Kurukshetra, and I generally like to code, travel, and maybe learn new tech here and there. Okay. So if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me on this LinkedIn URL. So yeah. So let's move forward. So today's topic we'll be talking like how will you maybe move from a junior developer or someone who is just starting off as a developer to a senior developer. Like we will see the whole path, like how you can follow and become a senior developer in a company. Okay, so let's go together. So what we will be covering here, if you have any doubt, just put in the chat. We'll have a look on that. Yeah. So the agenda for today will be generally like how can your journey start, the overview of that, maybe then building a strong foundation, which is very basic and which is very much required if you are starting up as a developer. Then you should have some advanced skills and specialization in which like you will be considered a senior then only. Then how to navigate the job market. Like generally you see there is a huge amount of competition in the job market. So how can you come out of the crowd and maybe get a job in maybe as a senior developer somewhere. Okay. Then I'll put some tips and maybe some of my personal thoughts and all for the career growth and how you can secure a senior role in a company. Okay. So first of all, if we talk about the basic foundation, like you should understand the basics first. Like if you are coming from a college, the things which are actually considered or maybe in which like you should be good first is fundamentals. So generally you should be good with data structures, algorithms, object-oriented programming and all. And obviously like these are some of the key things. Then you should be good with some of the CS subjects also, like operating system, DBMS and all, networking, So if you are good with, or if you have a very basic understanding over them, then it is good to prevail in this career. Okay. And like if someone is really focusing on being a good developer, they should be really good with data structures and object oriented programming and all. So with time, like you will definitely uh, gain more knowledge, like how to write clean code, how to document your things. And also these are some of the basic things like you should follow. Version control systems you should also know, like Git and GitHub. So these are generally just to keep your code and all. So this is a very basic foundation. You should be at least adhere with these basics so that you can maybe continue with the development career. Okay. So what are the key technologies you can consider if you are a beginner or maybe junior developer? So you should at least have a path. Like some people can be maybe interested in data science and all, but here I have put a career where I am considering myself as a web developer who is developing application for the web. So if you are such a person, then you should have a knowledge of some of the technologies. Like the front end, you can have HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and some framework like React, Angular, or Vue. For backend, like you can learn any of the language, either Python, Java, Node, and all. So these are some of the server-side languages, and you can choose any of the framework which supports maybe backend application development, like Django, Spring Boot, and all, Spring and all. And then Express for Node. You should have a basic understanding of like how data structures generally work in general applications and all. Like you should know the difference between SQL and NoSQL databases and all, how to do CRUD operations, databases like MySQL, MongoDB. You should have a familiarity with these databases. Then only like you can say like, yeah, I am good with the foundation, because these are the foundations. At least you should have the knowledge of any of these, either in front end, either in back end, or database. Because if you're not okay with any of these, then it will be really difficult to prevail. Okay. So like if let's assume like you are now okay with the front end, you are good with the back end also now, maybe somewhat fundamental only, and with the database also. Now what is the next step? Like the next step can be like there is a huge importance of creating project. Like if you are learning something, and if you're not creating project, or if you're not doing something which is showcasing your skill, then definitely that is of no use, right? So like if you're learning something, you should create projects, your personal projects. So those personal projects will first give you a idea of how I can use the technology to maybe create all those things for my personal learning and all. And even like it will give you a basic foundation, a basic idea, like okay, this is the way I have to use this framework and or maybe language and all. And definitely if you see like any language, any framework in the world will have a community around it. So those communities will help you maybe write better code, or maybe make good projects based on the whatever the people who have been experienced with that framework or language they have followed. So it is really crucial to actually follow the community, whatever community who has done that. All those things will help you to become a very good developer in general. Okay, so building project is a foremost thing in a if you are a junior developer or someone who is an aspiring developer and all, they should create projects. They should at least try to see the open source project already there in the world, and maybe if you want, you can contribute to these also. Okay, so with that, like you will build a portfolio which will showcase some of your skills. So in general, like if you are maybe creating some project, where will you keep those projects? So you should keep your project on GitHub, either of the repository origin like GitHub, or maybe you can put it on Bitbucket and all. Wherever you want, you can put there. Okay, then how do you should deploy it somewhere to showcase to the world. Let's say if I'm a recruiter, I want to see like what you have done. Then how will I see your code? No, I'll not see your code. I'll just directly go and see the demo project you have deployed somewhere. So you should generally showcase those things in your portfolio. And you should like if you are interested, you can definitely go and write some blogs and all. Like it is optional, but definitely this will help you build a complete portfolio. And it is really crucial to do that, okay, in the initial days. Once you are okay with the basic maybe foundation and all, if you are good with the important things, now it is the time to advance your skills. Okay, now you have to maybe make your I mean, you have to deep dive somewhere, or maybe learn more about the core areas and see like, okay, if I'm okay with the foundation things, like how I can be more precise, more sharp. I mean, how can I be fast, how can I decide on what architecture, if I follow, the things will become easy for future developers or someone who is coming to your team. All those things are really crucial for a senior developer. Okay, so if I talk about the core areas in general, like people will expect you to be at least be good with the data structure and algorithms actually. So what are data structures first? Like it can be a question for some of the people also here. So data structure means wherever you are storing the data in the memory, all those are data structure. So there are various data structures already, like you can follow, you can learn about data structures. That is a crucial thing. And algorithms are in general everything nowadays. I mean, wherever you go, interact with any application, or maybe in any web app, or in any mobile app also, the algorithm is a crucial thing. Like even if you are making a cup of tea also, that is a process, so that is also an algorithm only. Okay, so you have to prepare, you have to be good at that part first, because that is showcasing your problem solving skill. Okay, so you have to be master at DSA first and prepare for a coding interview. So generally, if you are good with DSA, there will be a coding round. People will be giving you a maybe a link where you will go do some coding with some language, either Java, either Python, either C++, or either Node also. Anything you prefer, you have to code it and you have to solve that problem. Okay, so if you are good with DSA, then only you will be able to do that. Now comes system design. So first of all, what is system design? So in general, there is a architecture which is being used everywhere. Okay, so it is not that like you will create application and just throw it to the world and everyone will be coming to your application and use it. No, that is not how the things will work. Like if let's say 1 million people are coming to your system, obviously your application or whatever your system you have created will crash. It can be like, if it is not good, then it can crash. So definitely you have to understand the basics, like how can I make the system so much scalable that even if 10 million people are coming to my application. For example, if you take the example of Hotstar is an application, you're going to watch IPL there. Okay, so if they're not designing their system in such a way that 10 million people or 10 million, I mean 1 crore people are coming to your application, if they are not able to see that application properly, obviously your system is not good. Okay, so it is the duty of a senior developer to architect the design of the system. So in general, you should understand the design principle. What are the different microservices you can divide your system into these services? What are the various cloud platforms already there in the market which help you do that? So you have to understand these concepts if you want to be good with these things like architecturing and all. Then you have to learn system design. Then there are a lot of architectural pattern already there, which generally people follow to maybe write good code or maybe architect their system in a better way. So in general, these are some of the popular, like MVC is a model view controller pattern, MVVM is like model view model pattern. So these are different patterns. I mean, the thing is not ending here. Obviously, you have multiple architecture here, and things are not stopping here. Like obviously these are the starting point, and you should obviously learn the basics first and then go and try more patterns. Obviously the thing is not endless here, but these are some of the things where the core areas you have to work. Okay, so now if I talk about specialization in a domain, so let's say if I'm a web developer. Okay, let's say if I'm a web developer, then I have to be good with front end or back end or any of these, or maybe both also. So I have to specialize in a domain. Okay, because if I'm not specialized in a domain, then how will I be a senior developer, right? So definitely, like if you're specializing in a domain, either you can be a full stack developer, like who knows front end also, back end also, and they can combine the both to create a complete full stack application. So that is what I am doing right now. Then there are multiple roles like DevOps and all, where you are understanding CI/CD, Docker, Kubernetes, the cloud computing world. So this is a different whole world where you are not worrying about what code you have written. definitely you are writing the code and you want that code to present to the real world. So how will the real world people come to your application and maybe interact there? It is only because of these DevOps engineers. They are allowing the operations to develop or maybe scale the system so that you can more people can come and maybe interact with the application you have created. So this is one more specialization area. Okay, then you have machine learning and AI. So with the advent of AI, obviously like AI has been there after 2022. Like people are talking about AI a lot more. It is the hot topic for this time or maybe this year also and upcoming years also. So if someone is interested maybe in those areas, so they can learn the basics of ML algos, learn some tools like TensorFlow, and there are a lot of tools. I have just mentioned one here, but I mean, the process will be same. Okay, you have to specialize in the machine learning and AI world, but the core will not change. Actually, the core will remain the same. You have to be good with the core, and slowly and eventually you will be specialized in the domain you want. Okay, so this is not stopping here. The domain can be endless here. I've just posted only 3 domains here, but there are a lot more domains. Okay, now if I talk about soft skills and leadership, this is in general, like if I talk about our growth or maybe our upbringing and all, like in India in general, I see like people are not good with soft skills. They lack the leadership and all. So these are some of the things like in general is not expected from a junior developer in general. But if you're becoming a senior member in a team, definitely these are the things like which will be showcase like how person you are or what all skills you have learned throughout when you are junior developer and all, because you were going through all of these things and now you're senior. Now if you're a senior person, like you are someone who is a leader, will lead a team. Okay, so you have to mentor some of your junior, like there will be people who will be new to the team, there will be people like who are just starting off as a developer. So you have to guide them, you have to help those to be a good developer, maybe learn some of the skills which are lacking to them. So all those things are part of leadership. And if I talk about soft skills in general, what is the problem in here is like we are not able to communicate properly with our colleagues, with our friends, or with our overall professional I'm talking about. If we are not able to communicate our ideas clearly and all, so these are some of these core areas like you have to focus. Soft skill is the most important. Like if you want to be a senior developer, you should be good with clearly able to maybe pitch your idea to the more senior people in the team, or maybe show them by writing something or showcasing or creating a design in a maybe notepad or anywhere like online also. Creating all those things and maybe showcasing those things will require a good amount of soft skill. Okay, so this communication skill is a crucial part. In general, people don't understand it. Like they become senior and they after some point of time they the growth becomes stagnant. They think about like why my growth is stagnant now, why I'm not maybe promoted to a next level. All those things are a problem, right? So these are in general, this is some of the most underutilized skill. Like in general, people are bad with these things. In general, it happens with everyone. So if you are able to hone them or maybe articulate things in a better way, maybe writing it or maybe verbally speaking those to the world, you're able to maybe pitch your idea or maybe give the things like what is required, what is the right way of doing it. Doing in a leadership way. Like if you're leading a small team, obviously your decision will be important. Like if you're taking a decision which is a technical decision, like if the decision goes wrong, things will, there will be a deadline. Like people will be giving you a deadline. Okay, let's say if someone is saying like I want to create a Hotstar like application, or maybe someone is saying like I want to create a Instagram application, there will be a deadline, right? So whatever the senior member will be there in your team, they will take the decision. Okay, this amount of time will be at least required to complete the challenge, whatever challenge you are taking. So all those things will depend, all those things will actually have a effect in the future. So this skill is quite important. And in general, like if I talk about the team collaboration and all, so agile teams are kind of the standard in general in the industry. So agile means it is a methodology, so where people are actually divided into, like, if you have a product manager with your team, you have a quality engineer, you have a DevOps engineer, also you have some few developers with senior members, there are some management people also. So this complete team is an agile team. Like, they have different skills and they're coming together to form a team. So this is in general followed in any industry right now. But you should know about these things, like how these things are happening and why these things are happening, because why it is helping me become a good developer, and all these things are really important. Okay, code reviews. And also, if you are a senior member in the team, you will not be only just writing code and all. You will be writing code, but you will be mostly reviewing codes, whatever the junior people or whatever the maybe less experienced people have written. You have to review them. You have to make sure like the quality of the code is not degrading with time. Okay, all those things you have to do. Then there is a pair programming. So this is a concept where kind of you are pairing with a person. You're just looking at that person and he is maybe coding and all, he's just doing all the programming, you're just guiding him, you're kind of a mentor to him, you are a coach to him. So all those things are done in industry, and this is the most important skill if you want to become a senior developer in a maybe developer environment. Okay, uh, so if I talk about like how can you navigate the job market and all, like before that, like I like to ask people like, do you have any question? I can take that, and if you don't have, like I can continue. Any questions, guys? Like I don't see anything in the chat right now, but if you have any question, just put that in the chat. Okay, I'll be really happy to answer that. So if I talk about resume, yeah, someone is raising hand. So Priyanshu, if you want to speak, you can unmute and speak. Yeah, Priyanshu, Sudhir, anyone, if you are willing to ask some question, this is the time.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. So I believe by mistake you have done that. Okay. So how will you navigate the job market? I mean, this is the crucial part, because even if you have I mean, you have a strong foundation, you have learned whatever skill was required, you are now specialized in a domain. Okay, now you are good with everything. Now what are the chances like you can't get a job, or you can't excel in an area and all? So this is the problem, right? So you have to now showcase your skill, because whatever experience, whatever skill, whatever projects you have created, now it's a time to showcase it. Because if you're not showcasing it to the world, how will anyone know like this person, or maybe anyone who is good with maybe full stack development, or he is good with something like painting and all, anything, anything in the world, any skill in the world, if you are not showcasing it, uh, and by showcasing means you have to show it through maybe visually or written form, or maybe create in front of that person to showcase like, yeah, I am good with that, or whether you have a relevant skill or not. So those things are really important to navigate the job market. And in this current job market, like uh, it is a cut throat kind of a competition. So you can't be like, I'll maybe be good with the skills and I'll just wait. No, you have to be on your toes. You have to build a very strong resume showcasing all your experience, all your skills, whatever projects you have done, whatever roles you have done in a company, what all companies you have worked for. Maybe writing some cover letters also, like it is optional thing, but in general in the resume and all, you have to put all the things what you have done in industry. And that is very crucial, because the resume will showcase, because you are just marketing yourself, you're just selling yourself, or maybe selling your service. So if you are a developer, you are selling your service to the company, right? They're paying you for your service. So that service will require some amount of resume, right? Like they will ask you like, how will I know like whether you are really fit for that? Definitely there will be a process, there will be an interview, there will be a coding round, there will be a system design round, there will be a behavioral round and all. So all those things are there, we will discuss about those things also. But in general, creating a strong resume is crucial. And in the world of AI, mostly nowadays, like the resume are being filtered with the AI and all. So if you're creating a resume which is not that compelling or which is not that good, then it will be directly rejected by a machine. Definitely you don't want to do that. So you have to create a very good resume, and you can maybe refer some of the sites which are actually helping you build some good resume. Like for example, there is a website called opencv.com. You can go there, create your resume, and it will be a good compelling resume, right? So I'm not saying create a resume which is of 10 pages or maybe 100 pages. No one will be looking at your 100-page resume. No, you have to create a single page resume, put all those things in a very small detail and all, so that it is really eye-catching in a one moment. Like if I'm opening it, I can see like, oh, this person is really good, I have to connect with this person. Like that should be the thing, like any recruiter should say if they're seeing a resume. Okay, so this is the first step. Now, if I talk about the job interviews, so definitely like if your resume is really good, now you're getting selected. Now they will see whether whatever you have written in the resume, whether you are proving it. Like if you have written like I am good with, let's say, Java, I am proficient in Java, I have 10 years of experience in Java. So they will check now like whether you are really good with 10 years of Java experience or not, or you're just written it just for writing. Okay, so these are the things which will be judged in this interview. So you have to prepare for it. So let's say if you are preparing for a very senior role, uh, these three things will be considered for sure. And in this, the system design will be the crucial round, because if you are targeting as a developer, then developer will be developing something, right? So that role will require you to be good with the system first. System design will be the most crucial one. If you fail at that, then you will fail at every. Okay, so that is the most crucial. But in general, not just technical interview will be the most important thing. Behavioral interviews are also important. Let's say if you're really good with technicals but you are very bad with soft skill, like you are not able to speak with maybe 10 people, you're not able to manage 10 people, or even if you are, let's say, if there is a situation coming to you, let's say you have to just maybe fix a bug like which is very critical, like maybe it is the company is bleeding money. Definitely you have to act on that situation. You have to take some action so that that will result in it will stop the company from bleeding money, or maybe, well, this is just a scenario, right? So all those things come into behavioral interviews. So you are generally asked with such a difficult question, like what will you do in such a situation and all. So these are some of the important interviews in terms of wherever you are. Like if you are even a junior developer, you are expected to behave in such a way, right? Like let's say if there is a conflict in the team, how will you resolve as a senior member in the team, right? All those things are important. And in general, like people who are preparing for interviews in general, they don't care about these things, and these are the places where they get rejected. And once they come back and they analyze it, they say like, I am good with problem solving, I'm able to solve the coding challenges, I'm good with design also, why am I failing? Because these behavioral interviews are kind of psychologically, they have a psychologist also there, so that they can see whether this person is really fit for that senior role or not. Because senior members are kind of backbone, right? They will be helping everyone, they will be architecting things, they will be writing some very good quality code and all. So there, this one becomes really important in that scenario and all. So if you are someone who is preparing, generally mock interviews are one of the most helpful ways where you get to maybe interview with some real person. It can be like if you are in a company, you can interview with your peer also, or you can maybe ask someone on LinkedIn and all to mentor you, or maybe help you prepare for some role like which is maybe beyond your experience right now, but you are targeting for maybe upcoming 6 months or a year or maybe 2 years. You want to be that person. So to be that person, you have to first go into his or her shoes, right? And then only you will be able to reach up to that point. Like the companies will be seeing value in you, and if they're able to see the value in you, they will really hire you. They will give you a hefty amount of money. So if I talk about the preparation, technically, if you are good with foundation, you will be good with problem solving. And if the problem solving is good, then you will definitely excel with the coding challenge. Any coding challenge given to you, you will solve it. Okay. I'm not saying like if you are not able to solve, then you are not competent and all. No, that is not how it is. Like you will generally solve most of the problems given to you. Okay. System design in general, there is no good or bad thing here, because definitely there is no such like this is a bad design, this is a good design. There is no such thing. But definitely it depends on you, like how you are interacting with that interviewer, how you are giving the solution and all, whatever challenges he is throwing to you, whatever answer you are giving, that will showcase like, oh, this person has the experience with the difficulties coming to him. Okay. So these are important. Behavioral, I have already talked about. Like there will be situation given to you, and how will you do the task, what actions you will take, what result will what will be the result of your actions and all you are taking, right? So all these things are important if you are navigating in a job market. Now, one of the key important thing happen is like you generally work in a company, but you may think like, I already work in a company, then why do I need a network and all? This can be a very small thing, but let's say if you're working in a company and one day like the boss comes to you and thrashes you, or maybe give you some work where you couldn't perform well, your performance, let's say, decreases, or whatever, maybe the vision of the company has changed, or maybe whatever things they were working previously, those all things have changed. Let's say you were interested in working in Java, but they have now switched to C++. Or maybe if we talk about someone from a data science background also, let's say if a company was doing maybe investing money in the data science world, but let's say they didn't get any response, or maybe whatever project they did, all failed. So maybe the vision changed for the company, and the work they want to give you may not align with your future growth. Okay. So you want to switch, right? So if you want to switch, how will you switch? Like if you don't have a network, whom will you ask? Like if you don't have a network, whom will you say like, hey, I am good with this, can I come to your company? That is not how things will work. Like you have to create a network around you. Like you have to ask people like whether there is an opening in your company, just refer me. Maybe talk to the manager whether I am suitable for this. So your network will help you get a job. Okay. So for that, LinkedIn is one of the most used social media, where you can create a strong profile, connect with people who are professionally doing well, and you can learn from them also. Like definitely it is not just about creating network. Like if you're seeing the peers, whatever your colleagues or whatever your college mates were there, you can see those profile also on the LinkedIn. And if you see them, you also get maybe motivated to maybe prepare for something, or maybe move to a next level, or maybe change your job and all. So I'm not just saying like if you are really good and comfortable in your company, you have to change only. No, that is not what it is. But in general, professional network will always help you to either grow professionally or be good with any of the things. Okay. So in general, like if you are building this network through LinkedIn, that is great. Step one is complete. Now if I talk about like if you are already senior, or if you are targeting for a senior member, maybe as a promotion or maybe as switching to a new job, so there will be industry events already, meetups, conferences. These are generally happening in the world. Okay. So how will I attend these? It can be tricky in the first place, but obviously these things are generally given to you to register, or maybe pay some money, or maybe come free also, or maybe have some meetup also. Like if you are already a senior member in somewhere, you can definitely organize some event also, like if you really want to. Conferences and all generally happens. Like if you are someone like who is in the security domain, let's say if you are in a software security world, so these conferences are happening already in the world. You just have to go join it. You have to just make your vision so that you can align with them, attend those, and maybe there, if you go there, like you can maybe create some network and all around that, right? So these are also important. So community wise, if I talk about like what are the different communities where you have to maybe build the network and all, so there are already online forums. GitHub is also a good place where the communities are generally pushing their code and all. So it is really crucial to maybe participate in these communities, ask questions, maybe answer some of the questions. Let's say someone has asked some very very basic question and he has maybe less experience than you should not be like, oh, what is this basic question? Generally, like people have the basic question in the beginning, and then only they become advanced or maybe senior and all. So you should generally interact. We should engage and maybe reply to those forums and all, maybe contribute in some open source projects and all. Stack Overflow is one of the most widely used I can say community, where generally people used to answer these and that, but generally after coming of the chat GPT, these have become much simplified now. But still, these are very good resources to refer, okay, if you are learning. Now, if I talk about like if you want to secure a senior developer role in a product based company, you have to understand some of the roles, like what are the different roles which are generally given to you, and what are the differences between the roles, what are the expectation from a senior developer, like whether I'm technically good, but whether I'm really good with the leadership, whether I am good with the ownership. Let's say if I've given a project to you, let's say if I talk about Adobe, let's say someone has given you the ownership of complete product, let's say Photoshop, they have given you the ownership of complete Photoshop. So will you take the ownership? Will you be that senior member, like who will be really on his toes to deliver it? So that, because obviously companies are public, or maybe they are having investors, so obviously you have to keep the trust of the investors and all. So how will that work? Like if the ownership is not taken by any of the senior people in the company, then things will become bad, right? So there is a role, and that role will pay you the money, okay? That role is actually helping you, or maybe that is I can say that is only experience, like that experience is paying you that amount of money, okay? And it is not just about money, it is also about mental satisfaction and all. And if you are really good with some technical skill, you want to spread it to the world, right? Because like if you're not spreading that knowledge to the world, definitely that is of no use, right? You're learning something but you're not sharing with anyone, then what is the point of learning that, right? Or maybe if you're learning or maybe creating something, that end product should be given to the world. They should maybe benefit from that, or maybe learn from whatever you have done. So these comes under the technical expertise and all. Like leadership and all are also crucial. Like there are managers, like people are doing MBAs and all, so they are good leaders, right? So but can you say like any good leader will always be a good owner, or always be a good expertise at something? It can't be. Like you have to uh, maybe you have to learn a lot of the skills when you are becoming senior. You're not just expected to write code and all, you're also expected to maybe own things. You are also expected to be good leader. You are expected to maybe lead a team, or maybe you are expected to even architect something. All those things are really crucial, and in this world where everything is now on internet, like these things are not that much challenging. Definitely there are hindrance here and there, but you have to uh, you have to come out of that hindrance and maybe be good with the expertise, whatever, wherever in whatever field you are. You have to really uh, come out of your shoes and maybe good with all those skills actually. So there can be people who can ask you like, what is the difference between a product based and a service based company? Okay, so product based companies are generally focusing on a product, so their long term vision is that product, okay? So they are actually developing a product which will be in long run helping or maybe growing, okay? And that product is earning money for that company, okay? So those companies which are focusing on creating some product and all, maybe doing all the R&Ds there, putting all the energy there, all the money there, to create a very good product. For example, Adobe is one of the example for that. Similarly, there is Google, Microsoft and all. These are some of the product companies which are developing product, and people all around the world are using that product. So such a company will be called a product based company. But if you ask me like, okay, if such a company is product based, then who are service based companies? So these companies are kind of giving third party service to a company. Let's say I'm McDonald's, okay? So I am a burger company, right? I don't have the expertise of maybe creating an application, or maybe maintaining that application, or if something is going wrong, like how will I maintain it? I don't have the expertise for that, right? I have to hire someone. I have to put maybe hire developers in the McDonald's and all. Similarly, it can be for Starbucks and all these companies are what? These are non-technical companies, so they are also managing different digital marketing things. They also have different mobile apps, website and all. They also do a lot of marketing things here and there. So how will they manage it? They have to hire someone to do it, right? So they are hiring some service based company to do that, and that service based company will actually give them the resources to maybe manage whatever they have given to you. Okay, given. So that company will be responsible for managing those services in that. So definitely there are examples like there is Infosys, Wipro, HCL and all. These are giving services to a company like which is not good with technical part of things, right? So like if you are someone like who really want to be maybe earning more also, and you want to be a good developer in general, you want to not just provide services, you want to maybe create something which is gives value to the end user in the world, right? So you have to come to a product based company, because obviously the amount of skill set will be more, the amount of expertise will be more, everything will be more here. Okay, in service based definitely things will be less, because there will be a huge team managing that product. So maybe the challenges are not coming or maybe boiling down to you, but still all those leadership skills will be there. Okay, but I'll encourage everyone to maybe try to maybe convert or maybe come from a service based to a product based, because here your focus will be on this long term product you have created. There will be a lot of innovation. Obviously with the product there is a life cycle. So I mean there is a big difference here. Like it depends on the person also. Like if they really don't want to be that person who is creating value in the world, why even if you want to switch to a product base, right? So all those things are required. And like if we come to our topic, like for a senior developer, why it is bothering, because in a product based company senior developers have to do a lot of things, but in a service based company you generally have to manage and maybe delegate work here and there. That is the thing, that is the key difference here. Okay, then if I talk about like how to maybe strategically move your career, maybe step and step how to move it to the right direction and all. So definitely you're working somewhere, and if that company doesn't have the vision, doesn't have the culture, doesn't have the proper technology stack, whatever growth opportunities they have, if they're not aligning with you, if they're not aligning according to your needs, then you're at the wrong place. Okay, so you should definitely choose a company which is really right for you. Okay, and I know you can't be perfect at that. It can be like you are working in a company and you're really liking the work, you're really comfortable with the culture and all, you are finding opportunities, growth opportunities here and there, then you're in the already in the right company. I'm not saying like every company is a bad, no. Right company means like my visions are aligning with the company vision, and sometimes you have to sometimes align your vision to the company also, and that is okay. Somewhat things like which is comfortable to you, then it is okay, and you have to choose the right company which is for you. Okay, then negotiation skills can be little tricky, because let's say there is a industry standard which is given to someone, there is a compensation which companies are generally giving you, there are a lot of benefits, there are long term career growth and all. So you have to negotiate, you have to have a proper negotiation. So there is a skill, right? This is a skill to negotiate on something. It is not just like you'll go there and you will say no, I want to 2 CR package directly. It can't be like that. Like if you're earning maybe something very less and you are asking for a very huge amount of hike, that is not possible. There will be some negotiating factor which you have to consider, and that is also a skill thing like which will come with experience to you. Okay, then continuous learning is the important thing, because obviously after, I mean before 2 years or 3 years there was no AI and all, there was no chat GPT and all. Now you see there is AI and everything is now converting to AI, all the companies are investing money in the AI. So the trend has changed now. So you have to stay updated, you have to be on the latest technology, whatever latest technologies are being used in the world, you have to be on your toe to learn them or maybe work on them. So all those are really crucial. You have to follow all the trends and all. So all those things are really important here, guys, and you have to focus on the long term learning here. You have to continue with that. Okay, okay. So there are some tips like which I can give to you for you to succeed if you want to really be the senior developer in some place. And obviously it is, this things is generally coming with huge amount of hard work, dedication. You are being very proactive. You are improving yourself, creating a brand, and all those things you are doing just to be at that height. Definitely, I mean, kudos to you, right? So some of the tips be like you can be proactive, right? You have to take ownership of a task. Like if you are given a task and let's say you're not able to deliver it maybe on time, but you are let's say not even taking the ownership of it. Like someone is reminding you, coming to you and saying, hey, that task was given to you maybe two weeks before, why are you not completing it? So that is a wrong thing, right? You're not taking ownership. So you have to be proactive here. You have to maybe suggest improvements also. You have to be a very good problem solver also. Like you have to solve real problems, so you have to maybe give them the actual solution, like which will be like which people can implement also, and it can be easy to maybe do it in time also. Okay, so these things are really important. Continuous improvement we already talked about. Like you have to I mean, improve regularly, which is being shown in your work. Like your work will already speak like you are improving. Then you generally have the feedback system. You can ask your peers, you can ask your friends also, you can ask your colleagues also to give you feedback whether you're doing good, what are the areas where I can improve, and all. These are some of the positive ways to maybe improve yourself. Like it can be like someone can give you a negative feedback. Either way you take it positive or negative, it depends on you. And definitely if feedback is given to you, you will improve on it, and one day you will improve, right? So I mean, you have to work on the areas of the growth and all. So all those things are really important here to improve actually. Then building a personal brand can be optional for some of the people. Uh, let's say I'm good with some skill. Let's say I'm good with AI and all, maybe machine learning and all. So either I can teach people, or either I don't want to teach people. Like it is up to you, right? So building a personal brand, it can be like you want to create a brand out of you because you are really passionate about something which is not there in the world right now. So definitely building a brand will help you, right? But if you are not interested, and if it is not aligning with your vision, then I mean, this is just optional thing, right? So what you can do here is you can contribute to the community through blogging, maybe, or maybe answering the forums and all. Whatever query people have, you can answer those. Maybe speaking in a conference and all, maybe taking part in a conference is also good. Or maybe hosting some webinars, like the Apna is also doing the same thing. They're hosting webinars to spread the knowledge to the world. So these are some of the ways where you are helping spread the knowledge, right? Okay. So if I talk about the conclusion, what are the key takeaways you can take from this webinar right here? So foremost thing is like you have to be really good with the fundamentals, right? So your foundation is I mean, you should have a solid foundation for maybe you can say like if my this step is not proper or not in a correct shape, obviously you will fall, right? So you have to have a very solid foundation to go to an advanced skill. And if you're coming to an advanced skill, you have to continue learning. I mean, this is a journey, this is a growth path where you are actually going, learning, continuously learning, and maybe improving, and maybe helping people here and there, and creating a network around you, and maybe paid for that. So that is a good way to maybe progress your career and all. Okay, so definitely there is a strategy where career planning will be required for you. Like you have to see whether what areas you like it. So if you really think like I am working in a company which I really don't belong to, I don't have the vision like which is matching with the company, you should definitely do a career planning, very strategic planning, and maybe switch to a role which can be really satisfying to you, which can be something which is required for the future and all. So you should definitely invest your energy and money there, which will be really crucial for the future. Let's say if you are going for a career which can go away in future, let's say, why will you invest in such a thing, right? Even if you are investing your time also, you're doing injustice to yourself. So you have to do a planning here, right? So this is the key important part here. Now if I talk about the last point, communication skill. So in general, soft skill, any kind of soft skill is really crucial. You can't be like I'll just not maybe communicate with people here and there. Will you grow here? I say, or maybe I doubt, like you will not grow as you are expecting maybe. So communication skill will be the key. to anything right away. I mean, any career you choose, anywhere you go, communication is the crucial part, right? You have to communicate with people here and there. Either way, whatever job you're doing, that is the secondary thing. But definitely that secondary thing is giving paying you money, but that communication is helping you build a lot of things, either network, either skill, either learning and all. So all those things are important, and this communication will help you to maybe grow to that stage, whatever you are targeting, right? Then some of my thoughts, my personal thoughts, like you have to understand the importance of persistence, adaptability, and continuous growth. Like, what do I mean by adaptability? Is like in the world where machine learning and AI is taking place, maybe they may be taking some of the jobs also. So you have to adapt. You have to maybe upskill yourself and maybe change to a career which is actually required in the future, right? Or which is actually adapting to the maybe future needs and all. So definitely you have to find that, uh, understand that, because that is really important, and grow in that. Okay. And if you are someone like who is just starting off, I'll definitely encourage you to maybe take your first step today itself. Like if you are motivated enough, you can maybe take your step today, and maybe try it out a lot of things. Obviously, there in the development world, there are a lot of things where you can try and maybe get your hands dirty. All those things you can try today itself if you are a very fresher person. Okay. Then growth and learning actually go hand in hand. Like definitely, like you can't say like my growth is I mean, I'm growing but I'm not learning. Not possible, right? You're learning and then growing, right? These are going together, and no one can become the best in a day. That is definitely everyone knows. Like I can't be like I'll learn maybe C++ today and tomorrow I'll be the senior member in a team. No, not happening, right? You have to progress, you have to learn, you will do mistakes. And that is the next point. Like it is natural to do mistakes, so you will be doing a lot of mistakes, and from the mistakes you have to learn. Okay, you don't just have to do mistakes, you have to learn from the mistakes, and then don't repeat that mistake, definitely. Okay. Then in the last, like you have to practice, and definitely with this perseverance you will always I mean, it will always work in your favor, and definitely you will become a senior developer someday, or maybe you will become next senior one in your team or wherever you are. So I'll open the floor for the questions. So if you have any question, let me know. Now it is your time to ask me, what do you feel? And yeah.
Thank you, Ayush. Thank you for the quite interesting session, and I think we have occupied good amount of time, and there's a lot of participants also left behind. Request participants, if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and ask any questions, unmute yourself. Meanwhile, I've also put out a feedback form on the chat box. Request you to please take up these feedbacks, which will help us improve sessions on a regular basis.
Yeah. So do you guys have any question in your mind? Like how can I be the senior person in the team? Or maybe what I can do to be the senior person? Or if you're targeting, or if even if you are starting up, what all things you can do to be the senior member? Definitely it is not just about senior, like it is about the career which you have to, there is a process actually. So this is the process in general to be a senior person. In whatever career you go, the senior person will only come with experience, right? So with experience you have a lot of things. So if you have any questions, maybe someone can be starting up, you can have questions, so don't be shy, you can ask here. Okay. Okay, Rohan, I think
Yeah,
there's no question.
I don't think there are any more questions. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for taking up your time.
Yeah.
I will see you again tomorrow in another session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye.